Are you ready for pain? Are you ready for suffering? If the answer is yes, then you're ready.
Alright, so I was gone for 2 hours and came back to that mess of a comment section. I was simply making fun of how pale I am because I'm not usually this pale and it's winter time. I know that my skin color gives me privilege. I don't know what about that video makes people think that I don't know that. And about the word cracker, it is not a slur. And if you have something to say about that and you are white, I don't care about your opinion. It does not matter to me. You're not oppressed. We're not oppressed. White people are not oppressed. It's not a slur. It can't be used to bring us down in any way as the N-word does for people of color. So on that note, I will take criticism and hear out people of color and what they have to say. But if you are white, I genuinely don't care about what you have to say. Your opinion does not matter to me.
Getting misgendered is so frustrating because, like, I know what I look like. And I know that I'm not exactly wearing a dress right now, but I'm certainly not serving boy. I have...
No, it's not. What you need to understand is that words like the N-word or the G-word or the F-word have historical context in which they were used. Maybe in an alternate universe where white people were not the beneficiaries of racism, then that wouldn't be the case. But in this universe, literally the entire definition of what we now conceptualize as race was built to uphold white supremacy. Whiteness in and of itself is a tool of white supremacy. You cannot distance whiteness from white supremacy. It can't work. So without that historical context, it is not a word that was used to keep oppressed groups down. It is a pejorative, exactly like the words Karen or redneck or any other number of words that describe white behavior. And the only reason why people do not like this specific word is because it was created by black people, not other white people.
Trans women get periods. Let's talk about it. When I started my transition, nobody mentioned to me that trans women get periods. We do not ovulate and we do not menstruate. At least I don't. But every 3 to 4 weeks, I get so gosh darn emotional. It makes me really scared. And nobody mentioned anything to me about this. So when I asked my doctor about it, they were like, oh yeah, there haven't been studies. But once I started looking at my timeline, I realized, oh, about once a month I made a really sad crying video. Trans fans, if you agree or disagree, I would love to discuss this. Love you all, bye.
PSA to all educators, especially elementary school educators, do us all a favor, society a favor, and stop breaking your kids up into boys groups and girls groups. Please stop doing it, especially at elementary level. For academics, for athletics, for all things, stop breaking them up into boys and girls groups. First of all, boys and girls are basically growing at the same level throughout infancy, throughout toddlerhood, and throughout elementary school. It's not until upper elementary where girls actually take off and grow quicker and stronger than boys that later catch up in high school. So this idea that they can't work together, they can't play together, it's not safe, it's wrong. It's not the correct idea. And it creates this idea that boys and girls are inherently different, which is something we're trying to stop in our society. So do us all a favor. Break your kids up into levels. Break your kids up into hair color for all I care. But please, please, please stop breaking your kids up into boys and girls groups.
Happy Pride Month. Let's talk about 3 ways that you can make your classroom a little bit more inclusive to LGBTQIA plus students this coming up school year. 1, let's get rid of boy-girl classrooms going into next school year. Okay, you can divide your students by animal names, by different colors. You can organize your students by table numbers. You can do a lot of different things without buying into that gender binary that students, regardless of if they can verbalize it, may not quite fit into. Number 2, assuming a child's gender also tells you what kind of games they want to play or what kind of toys that they're going to be into does a disservice for exposing your children to all the different types of play and relationships that they can form in a school setting. 3, representation matters. In the way that we ferociously try to represent all of the different cultural identities of our students, I think we should also do that with their LGBTQIA plus identities, whether that be gender expression, what their families might look like, and more.
Honey, don't jiggle, jiggle, it folds. I'd like to see you wiggle, wiggle, for sure. I'd like to see you wiggle, wiggle, for sure. I'd like to see you
teachers. I'm here to talk about why LGBTQIA+ representation is so important and why it matters. First, most parents don't talk to their kids about any queer topics or what it means to be queer, questioning who you are, or to live your life outside of the binary. So having genuine positive representation, be it in books or literature, is incredibly important to remind us queer kids that what we feel is okay and normal, most importantly, because over 34,000 LGBTQIA+ kids kill themselves per year. I can't help but think, would those numbers be lower if they had inclusive classrooms where they felt safe, wanted, or needed?
Biological sex is socially constructed, whether conservatives like it or not. I have a background in genomics and biochemistry, and I'm getting my doctorate right now in how biological and social factors interact around matters of gender and sexual health care. And if there's one thing the biology shows, it's that all of the attributes we ascribe to sex are messy, dynamic, complicated, and anything but straightforward. Now, a lot of critics will come in and say it's XX and XY, that's just basic middle school biology. Unfortunately, the facts don't care about your feelings, and we go a little beyond middle school science here. Chromosomes didn't even enter our considerations of biological sex until like the mid to late 20th century. Moreover, sex is often used and operationalized in scientific and non-scientific contexts in ways that have nothing to do with chromosomes or genital anatomy. Our decisions about what does or doesn't count as sex and when or when to not invoke it are always socially situated, and our concept of biological sex is constructed.
Now look at this.
So those of you who don't believe that white privilege exists, this is a perfect example of white privilege. Kyle Rittenhouse gunned down 2 people and shot another man at a Black Lives Matter protest. He traveled across state lines with an AR-15 at 17 years old and ended up killing 2 people and shooting another. And he just got away with those murders and that attempted murder. If Kyle would have been a black or a brown man, he would have not only been shot and killed in the streets at that Black Lives Matter protest, but if by chance he made it out alive, he would be sentenced probably to death. They would have probably imposed the death penalty for that young man. This is a perfect example of white privilege and a racist America. America is racist. There's no way he should have walked. That's the world we live in, people.
How you so steady with it? They say he had your pockets swollen. You gotta show me the shit. Better tell you how I'm doing this shit.
No, white privilege does not exist, and it hasn't in a long time. Literally, as a black person, you can get free money to go to school solely based off the color of your skin. As a black person, you can literally trash a white person and get applauded for it. If you're a white person, no, absolutely not. You would get your ass handed to you. Black people literally sit here and play the victim. Poor me, I can't get a job. Oh, poor me, it's the white man's fault that I can't do this. No, it's poor you because you're lazy. You guys can literally sit here and burn and loot and steal things and absolutely get away with it if a white person were to do it. You guys literally get away with making white people kiss your asses for something you weren't even alive for. Like, you do realize white people were also slaves too. So stop playing victim, get your ass a job, and pay for your own shit. Because white people, or I, or taxpayers, do not want to do it. Now off my page with your victim ass self.
I can excuse racism, but I draw the line at animal cruelty.
You can excuse racism.
She don't see us? You see me?
Yeah. Yes, I see you. You see me?
Hell yeah, I see you. Both of us sitting here looking like 2 big Barneys.
Young lovers and they are not sleeping. Young lovers in the halo. With his gun turned on, pop when they're creeping.
Life isn't fair. Life is like a fair that only lets in white people with blue eyes and blonde hair and big tits and small waists. Let's cut paste, the same face, the same smile, the same type.